Turkish proverb. Every day, simple and pleasant people have the capacity to make extraordinary impact because of mutual respect, trust, integrity, and more importantly, the ability to compromise and make sacrifices where and when necessary. A true friendship can grow to become a solid partnership because of these qualities. Welcome. It's wellness and living. Our topic today is managing relationships successfully. My name is Thelma, Obaze. There are different kinds of relationships. We have the filial relationship. We have the workplace relationships. We have the pair relationships. We have platonic relationships. We also have marital relationships. This involves a couple that have chosen to spend their lifetime together. We have healthy and unhealthy relationships, just like the name implies. To be in an unhealthy relationship is to risk a lot. Your happiness, your vibrance, your joy, your determination and your focus, because it sucks the life's blood out of you. We are in a healthy relationship. You are nourished and nurtured, and then you can flourish. And at different times in our lives, we would have been a part of any of these relationships, sometimes all of them. You know how we like to do on a program? We go out to have a talk with you. We like to know what you're thinking. We want to share your experiences. Sometimes you tell us what your plans are. We did that as usual. We asked you some questions. Here are your answers.
The relationship that I value most is the one between me and my wife, because it's just like I don't know how I can call it, let me call it my own bone also.
The relationship that is most dear to me, I can say it's a family relationship, because first of all, before you know all about relationship, you must first of all undergo a family relationship that will help you to build up any kind of relationship in life.
Okay, the relationship I think I value most is the relationship with my mom. And if I may go further to say anything about that, I will tell you is just the way I've been brought up. My dad is not always at home, so it's my mom that I'm always with at home. So
the relationship I value most is the relationship I have with my parents, because I believe so much in family. Family is everything. Family will always be there when you need them. Talking about my mom, to be specific, my mom has done so much for me to get an education, to be where I am today. I believe nobody else can do that for me. Blood is thicker than water.
First of all, character, moral character. If you want to build up any relationship, at least that relationship must be built on a good character, obedient, honesty. You just being yourself.
The challenges we are facing today in the relationship is lack of sincerity. Because we all understand that character is like a smoke. You cannot hide it. What is breaking a lot of relationships today is lack of sincerity. If you can be bold to tell your partner who you are, the kind of person you are, your area of weakness, you can be able to tell your partner, and also if possible your past life, even before the person will meet you, it will also keep the relationship. That will bring trust.
The things I do to show her that I appreciate what she has done is I listen to her. I know what she likes and what she doesn't like. I know that whatever she's doing, she still has the best intentions for me.
I have a friend. The friend that I have, let's compare it biologically, we are not related, but on a normal profane activities we are related. But the way I see the person is just like my own personal life or my twins persons. You know, relationship can make you and somebody else can become united.
it is important for me to keep that relationship I developed with my mom, because I felt that I give her the joy of being alive each time I do what she taught me.
For you to keep any relationship going, you need fear of God, number one. You need the grace of God. You need love. You need honesty for it to maintain that relationship.
So a relationship grow to the extent that you can do something to somebody that even his brother cannot do it for him, or his sister cannot do it for him, in the account of relationship. So that's what relationship can give to you. Relationship can make you from a known background to become a governor. Because God is not coming down from heaven to do anything for us. God is going to use people to help us to where we are going. So that, and what can make that relationship is one day you know the person. And by the time the person begins to know you with your sincerity, with your truthfulness, with your hard work, with some character in you, that person can also help you tomorrow.
Someone to tell it to is a fundamental need of every human being. So says Miles Franklin. Just imagine, let's say this very simply. You had a challenge, you had a problem that was nagging at you. Despite the fact that you are intelligent and vibrant and have made so many right life choices, it often helps to share your thoughts with someone. That's why we often say a problem shared is already half solved. John Bosco is a relationship coach and he has been talking to people for over 2 decades. He's traveled beyond the African continent. He's been to so many different parts of the world in a bid to share experiences and listen to people so that 2 good perspectives can bring a solution to different challenges. On the show today, he talks with us about relationships and how we can ensure that more often than not, we're making the best decisions.
A relationship is a state of being connected with somebody else. The state, that connection, being a part of somebody's life, and the person being part of your life in so many kinds of ways. We have healthy and unhealthy relationships. So people could be part of your lives in healthy ways. They could also be part of your lives in unhealthy ways. Ideally, one will always choose for the better. So it's expected that people should normally gravitate towards healthy relationships with whomever they are in the relationship with, because unhealthy relationship tends to put stress on the human person, put stress on your heart, and put stress on your overall well-being. So I always encourage people to choose to be in healthy relationships. No man is an island. We cannot exist in isolation. Everything we do from birth, we do with others. It's done for us, we do for others. And there's no way you cannot be in a relationship with somebody. Beginning from your childhood, your parents, your siblings, you grow up to be an adult and you then begin to choose who you are in a relationship with. It could be marriage, it could be partnership, it could be business, it could be work related. But you now begin to make choice depending most times on the type of person you are. Because the kind of relationship you gravitate towards is a reflection of the kind of person you are. You could see somebody that you ought to be friend with, and the final person is always aloof. You have that in schools with children, with younger adults. You have that even in offices with colleagues. Somebody you are bound to be in the same office with, being aloof. And for some people, it's not comfortable. They can't live like that. So they tend to want to stretch out their hand, go the extra mile. And how do you do this? Begin from simple good morning. Begin from always wearing a smile. Begin from always tending to ask, how are you? You know, these little things could help make the person understand that you don't mean no harm, because you don't know where the person is coming from. And just like you hinted, people they are coming with their kind of baggages, and baggages of experiences they've had in the past, and most of them awful. So they tend to lock up until they feel some sort of soft nodding to loosen up. They tend to still remain blocked. So you can only do this by persistently trying to be nice. Sometimes it could take longer than you expect, but so long as you keep trying, definitely you'll get to break the ice one day. You could even have that with your brothers. I have a brother who among my 5 brothers, one of them is just, he seems to be mostly aloof when we're in the house. You see, he's the person you see sitting out there alone. After table, most times he just goes off, sits in his room. So he's always like that. We tend to know him to be the aloof person. So what some of us get to do, initially it's easy to write him off. What's your business? But I, being the elder one, I always, what are you doing? Why are you sitting alone? So I sit down with him. So I get to talk with him. I try to reach to his person. What is really making him? And I now discover that he has this fear. He's always not wanting to offend somebody. He doesn't want to get offended because he's hot-tempered. So, you know, so he's always trying to not to do something that could provoke anger or provoke whatever sentiments that he might not like to show. We find perfection in our relationship with others. We in ourselves are not perfect. So we can't avoid having rift in a relationship. And now, when this does happen, could be either's fault. It could come from Mr. A or come from Miss B. The problem there is how true. The challenge becomes how true are you to that relationship. That is where the identification, the troubleshooting should start. How true, how authentic are you to the relationship? Most times we come to relationship with a facade. We come to relationship with a mask. And then you find out that if peradventure that mask gets pulled off, that facade fades away, the true person begins to show. And then when that person shows, that's when you begin to hear somebody saying, I never knew you were like this. I didn't know this is who I'm married to. I couldn't believe you could do this to me. You know, so you now find that the person has a notion of a failed expectation or met expectation. Now, when such a thing happens, if you are true to that relationship, I always encourage people, be who you are. If you're angry, say you're angry. If you don't like what happened, always be open. Say, I don't like this. But the attitude with which you put that message across matters too. Are you correctional or just being unnecessarily aggressive? If I could say, I don't like the way you said this to me, I wish you had put it this other way. Maybe I could have understood you better. Parents, for me, I think should do a lot more in inculcating in children values that tend to put them in the right direction, to know that all man and woman are the same. We are only the differences in the sexes, but not in the value of the person. So if you learn to value the human person, be the person the man or a woman, you will now know that because she's a woman does not make her a lesser person. And one thing I've learned in the human being is what makes us whole is 3 things. We want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we want to be valued. So if you cannot really see your partner or the person you're in a relationship, you cannot hear the person, listen to the person, try to without talking back all the time, and then value the person. You cannot have healthy relationships. And this most times are gotten from the kind of foundations we give children.
Assumptions are the termites of good relationships. This is a quote by Henry Winkler. You know how it is. It happens to the very best of us. Some people have brought forward a trial, formed a jury, found you guilty, condemned you without even getting to know you. People have done it to us, and perhaps before we knew better, we had also done this with other people. It is best to form an opinion after you have met someone. That's why we took the pains to do our research and put together this short package talking about relationships. Everyone benefits from good relationships. Relationships are hard work. If you're willing to put in the effort, you can build long-lasting relationships.
Aside my relationship with God, one of the relationships I value most is that with my girlfriend. And she's one of the best things that have happened to me. And it's not been an easy relationship because you face challenges, but you have to get into a relationship for the right reason, not necessarily for what you want to get, but what you have to give. And when you look out for what you give, you find less faults in your partner.
Little matter what type of relationship you desire to have and build, you ought to start off on a good foundation. Good foundations consist of trust, mutual respect, sacrifice, and the ability to take responsibility for one's actions.
Like me, I value my family most because aside from God, they are part of those who made me who I am today. Without their support, I won't be able to go on in life. I see them as my number one part of everything I do. Before I do it, I share it with them, and I consider them to be very, very important in my life.
Misunderstandings occur that could bring about rift or create a distance between people in a relationship. Researchers say it's best to discuss issues honestly instead of letting them grow in size. Misunderstandings can happen between colleagues in the workplace, between spouses at home, between siblings who live together, between friends, or between neighbors who live in the same environment. Although it is not easy, oftentimes rifts can be mended when pride and ego are put aside.
Maybe you are 5 or 6 in your family. There are some things that your parent will do. They will first of all look at the children. They will see that among my children, which among them is what? Straightforward. They will now choose to what? Talk to you and tell you maybe about some of their what? Secrets. Mostly their secrets is about what? Assets. Because there are some children that they don't have what? Good trust between them and their what? Parent. I was having one friend like that. He lying to his parent, telling them that they said we should bring so amount. Why? Because he was thinking that he is the first person to go to school in their family. He will be lying to them. You see, all that kind of things is not good. Why? Because you will cause a mistrust between you and your parent. They will not be able to trust you.
Relationships are built over time and can last a lifetime. Good relationships add value to our lives, especially when we share experiences and imbibe lasting habits that facilitate growth and development. When we have good relationships, we are happy, have less stress, and can create positive impact.
I value all forms of relationship because no man is an island to himself. And it is also important that you should mingle with people, you should make friends, you should be more courteous, you should be more display level of understanding, and then be more concerned about other people's well-being.
Some habits that destroy relationships are anger and bad temper, impatience, lies and a lack of integrity, distance, the inability to compromise, the inability of either party to make sacrifices when necessary. There are some habits that grow relationships, like integrity, mutual respect, love, understanding, and patience. Relationships help us to live a long, productive, and fulfilled life. Are you building good and long-lasting relationships? If you haven't, the best time to start is right now. Every day, when we leave home to set out to pursue our goals and objectives, we have the opportunity to make right impressions. We meet people, either in the bus or in a vehicle, as we drive along the road, in our neighborhood, in our places of work, where we go to work out, want to exercise, or take a brisk walk. We are opportune to meet different kinds of people in the bus, in the vehicle, as we walk along the road, as we drive in our cars. We drive along passers-by and we can stop and begin a conversation, and sometimes this can lead to a lasting relationship. What are we doing with these opportunities that we have every day? Perhaps that's why Joyce Meyer says we can improve our relationships by leaps and bounds if we become encouragers rather than critics. At the weekend, I went to work out and I came upon Yetunde. Would you believe that right there and then we began a relationship? We worked out together. Here is what we did.
Some people are dancing, some are taking brisk walks, some are playing football, some are jogging like we just done. Why is jogging a nice way to work out? Because jogging is a complete aerobic exercise and it helps to prevent and contain cardiovascular ailments. It also helps to prevent high blood pressure and manage it. You can start at a brisk pace, build a support group, work out with your family and with your friends, and gradually, as you gain stamina, endurance, strength, and vigor, you can move from your brisk walk to a jogging pace, and eventually, you can even run marathons. Isn't that just fantastic? And music can accompany you all the way.
time to exercise at least 2 or 3 times every week is a superb idea, and your body will thank you for it. That healthy diet you've taken up is very good. It will prolong your life. Drinking lots of water keeps you energized and focused, and then you can plan and you'll be healthy. What about that medical checkup you've been talking about? You have been procrastinating. The best time to do it is now. But research also shows that building long-lasting relationships adds about 60% to our great health. So what are you doing about building lasting relationships? Start today. Start where you are. Start how you are. Start with whom you find around you. You may just be the person that fellow around you is looking for. It's been a pleasure as always spending time with you on Wellness and Living. I'd love to do it again next week. My name is Thelma Obaze. Spend time with us on our social media handle, Wellness and Living at Nigerian Television Authority. We'll see you again next week. For now, it's bye-bye.
When there's